Hello and welcome to Toronto Mike. I am Rob Salem and FOTM, and here for the first time, under duress, is the fabulous Rita Zekas.
What the hell is FOTM?
Friend of Toronto Mike.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, it sounded like a foam that I cleaned my floor with.
And now you're one too.
But then
all you have to do is be on the show.
Yeah, well, I'm here with lasagna. I don't care anything else.
What up, Mike? Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love. I'm in Toronto.
Welcome to episode 1883 of Toronto Mic'd, an award-winning podcast proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. This is why Rita is here.
Yes.
Order online at Great Lakes. You can go to palmapasta.com. They make homemade Italian pasta and entrees in Mississauga and Oakville. And for today, I guess South Etobicoke. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline and Mike and Nick, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making her Toronto Mike debut, it's Rita Zekas. And of course, co-hosting this episode with me, it's FOTM Rob Salem. Nice to meet you, Rita.
Well, you know what? With those sponsors, you've got it covered, right? If you're OD on the carbs, they just kind of, you stab them, we slab them, right?
I'm hoping there is a connection there for sure. It's a make-work project for Ridley Funeral Home. But Rob, always good to see you.
It's great to be back, and we've owed you this appearance for a while. The problem is twofold. First of all, we don't like to get wet, and the last few times
it is a major schlep.
It's a major schlep. We live in the beach.
I can walk to Hamilton
but it's been raining and snowing, and you had like a pet sitting emergency.
Okay, here's the deal. We have to get on a streetcar, and it's a bus, and it's a subway, and it's another bus.
Yeah.
Right?
So if it's raining, that's a deal breaker.
And also the Queen Street streetcar is just the worst in the city because they detour the detours. You never know where you're going.
Yeah.
It sounds painful.
Yeah.
But we're here.
Plus, she hates doing this stuff because she doesn't think she's remotely interesting. So that's why I have to be here to facilitate because I'm her press agent.
Okay, so several things striking me at once, but one is, and the most important thing here is how honored I am. I got Rita Zekas to visit my home studio. Rita, I really appreciate this. Like, that is a schlep.
It's a total schlep. But then I was raised in the West End. I went to Royal York Collegiate. I lived on Stephen Drive, which is right where the Ontario Food Terminal is.
Park Lawn, Queensway kind of area, maybe a bit south of there. But
I was on Stephen Drive.
Okay, yeah, I know it well because I biked down to the Humber Trail using Stephen Drive.
And the Barrie Road bus took me to the Humber Loop, or I would walk from depend on where I was and how late it was.
Not far from like Tom's Dairy Freeze, like not far. Did you ever go there, Summers, Etobicoke? Okay, maybe far enough.
No.
It was on Queensway.
Yeah, but it was on Woodford Park. It used to be the dairy.
Tom's Dairy Freeze. I think it's been there forever. Yeah, but like it's right beside Mama Martino's, if you know that name. It's like Queensway between like Royal York and Park Lawn. In that hood.
Yeah. Sure. It's a Dairy Queen. It's always been there.
Yeah, Tom's Dairy Freeze though.
But I used to play tennis at Woodford Park Tennis Club, and afterwards we would have. There's one of those Dairy Queens with the chocolate on top.
Oh my God, those are the best. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like all the calories that you shot playing tennis, you immediately got them back.
But she also worked at Christie's.
Right, which is gone now, but the sign's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
That smell's gone. Like I used to love the fact you could smell like cookies, something baking.
Yeah,
like
try working there and you come home.
Yeah, well, tell him your work history at
let's hear
Christie's.
Oh my God, I was the worst. They made you wear this outfit that, one size fits none. We used to call it our Christy Dior. and then a hairnet like Gladys used to wear on what's it? Laugh-In. Remember Gladys?
The
Yeah.
Ruth Buzzy character.
So we all looked absolutely lovely, and I was inept in everything. Right? They put me in the icing department, and it was like Lucy and Ethel.
Oh yeah, with the chocolates.
Yeah, and only it was like you had to pick up 3 lines or something, and you had to do that and then put them in the paper, the corrugated paper stuff. Well, I was so bad, I just was eating as much as I could because the supervisor would come and give you when you had the break, right? So then, and your own stuff, I'd have it on, I'd eat it, and then I'd get up and it'd be in my pockets and all over the floor. And she'd look at me and think, okay, we'll put you on, do these 2 easy rows. Okay, so I got the kindergarten rows, right? The middle ones, only there was corrugated paper. So it cuts you when you put it in. So I had all these bleeding cuticles, and then I would put Band-Aids on them. And the Band-Aids, I would lose the Band-Aids in the corrugated paper.
Oh, my God.
And then I'd get busted, so they took me off that. and then the best line was when they had those, those chocolate things with marshmallow.
Viva Puffs or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
They're a cookie on the bottom. And then,
Yes, of course I know these. Yeah,
and
great.
then on the top, there was, but it was in the cooler because, it's hot. It's a bakery. They used to give you salt pills because we would be fainting because we were dehydrated. So I got on there one night, right? And I thought, oh, this is wonderful. But you had to wear these plastic, little gloves, like just that plastic, real cheap plastic thing. Only I would touch them, and mine gollies got caught on the cookie. So there would be the gloves going down the thing, and then
Like the Vernon Shirley.
It is, yeah, like in the brewery, yeah.
Yeah, so I was taken off that, and finally they made me go up to Cones, where all the university kids were, and the ovens are right there, and it's hot as blazes, right? Yeah. So
ice cream cones.
Ice cream cones.
Of course.
Yeah, without the ice cream, obviously. Only I was a little too exuberant putting them in. So the bottoms would get crushed, the little ends.
Yeah, of course.
Well, of course, the ice cream would go through.
Right.
So I felt so bad. I would put the mix, the peanuts and stuff. Party mix. I would put some in each one so that you
to make up for the broken cones.
To make up for the broken stuff. And we used to have to stamp our numbers on it.
Yeah.
I would change my numbers every day so they wouldn't bust me. I got busted.
I feel I could do 90 minutes on Mr. Christie.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the worst Christie employee in history.
Okay, but I found my niche. I was making boxes. They made me the big, huge boxes that you'd put all the other stuff in. I was really good in that. There you go.
So you're. I'm guessing you're a young woman when you're working at Mr. Christie.
Oh yeah, I was going to university.
Okay. Because at some point, I'm going to do a little housekeeping here. Excited to have you here making your Toronto Mike debut. And then at some point, we got to find out how do you go from making boxes to stargazing. We're going to, but not yet.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so I do have a Palma pasta lasagna in the freezer for you because I know that's why you're here.
Yeah.
The reason she's here.
So what did you think of Rob, you've been here a couple of times. Actually, before you tell me what you thought of the lasagna, I'm going to tell the listeners, Rob Salem made his Toronto Mike debut in May 2024. So it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was episode 1489. And here's what I wrote at the time. Mike chats with Rob Salem, who spent 40 years writing about entertainment in the Toronto Star. He also played the minister who married Snake and Spike on Degrassi. That was the mind blow. I love that. And did I mention ready for this? And Rita, you know this, but I'm going to find out who you snorted coke with. But Rob snorted coke with Mel Gibson.
That old story, yeah.
Oh,
That old nugget, new to me, and it was fantastic. And we talked. But then you came back a month later, episode 1504. Like I had to get more Salem. And I wrote, Mike chats with Rob Salem on what was supposed to... Oh, right.
It was supposed to be with Rita.
That was the Rita Zekas debut, June 2024, but she bailed on us. Why did Rita bail on us in June 2024?
Now, wasn't it a cat-sitting emergency?
Or my mother died.
No, that was... your mother died
on your
my
birthday.
condolences.
On my 60th birthday.
Yeah, June.
During my birthday party.
Yeah.
She hated me.
Yeah, that was...
Was she at the party?
No.
No.
Okay.
She was near here, though, but she was in the Lithuanian nursing home at Islington.
Okay.
I used to go there 3 times a week. I went from one end of the subway to the other. And I would fall asleep because because you get on at Maine, and by the time you get to Islington, there's no oxygen left in the car, and everybody's asleep. So I thought this would be really great. You could mug everybody, and they wouldn't know it while they were asleep.
You made that trip a lot. You had a lot of time to think. But that first time that you didn't make it, I think you were cat sitting, and the cat had like a stroke or something. And it was
Yeah.
So in lieu of Rita, because I figured, well, I'll wait for Rita Zekas to make her Toronto Mike debut, but you shared your 10 of your best stories that you didn't share in the first episode. So I got a lot more Rob Salem stories. And then, like we mentioned off the top, you guys were in the calendar, and then I think we had a snowstorm.
Yeah.
And then you were in the calendar, and it was like raining hard.
Yeah.
We don't like to get wet.
No.
But here you are. It's
We are.
happening. And I know now is the time for you to tell me what you thought of the Palma pasta lasagna I sent you home with those times.
Oh, God, it's so
really good.
She was like, I mean, seriously, it is because she hates doing this stuff. This is the only reason she's here.
That's my ace in the hole. You know?
I'm telling you.
The other podcasts don't give you lasagna.
No, they
But
don't.
also, I'm going to be on a cat sit for 10 days, and I'm taking that with me.
Okay.
It's going to feed
does
me
Rob
for
know
10
that?
days.
Yeah. No,
just
we're
tell
going to
him-
cut off a hunk for tonight.
Wow, get
and
a
then she
chainsaw.
gets the rest of it.
Yeah.
We've done this before. We've done this twice before now. We are experts with
I can
this
see you getting like a
pasta.
chisel out and you're hammering the
Yeah,
chisel.
it's a really big butcher knife, and,
Okay.
we hammer it.
Well, my goodness gracious. So glad you're here. Rita, you just got your hair done.
I did. I told her that I wanted skunk streaks. I wanted to be Cruella, right? I got
Right,
dark.
Cruella DeVille?
Yeah, I got dark streaks put in.
Can I look at that hair, looks fantastic. There's only one man in the city who could make that happen. FOTM Gary Chowan.
Absolutely. I was just going to say Gary, Cher's former hairdresser.
Yeah.
Good
Now
enough for
Rita's.
Cher, good enough for Rita Zekas here.
Yeah.
So how do you know Gary? Like, do you just...
Wow.
I've known him forever. Obviously I have naturally curly hair, and I always wanted to have straight hair, so I had straight hair all the time. And at one point, I went to Vidal Sassoon, or Vidal as I used to call him, and of course, as women know, you should not screw with the texture of your hair, the nature. Everybody with curly hair wants straight hair. Everybody with straight hair wants curly hair. Blah
Right.
blah 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 blah. So. I went in there, and because I was straightening my hair all the time, it was breaking. So I just had a hot iron, like a comb, because I used to put it on the package, the cardboard package, and it sat on until I started to fire, and my father came into the bedroom and said choice words in Lithuanian, which I won't repeat. Actually, a sheit shmekas, which nobody... except for the Lithuanian.
He has a large
people.
Lithuanian contingent of
I'm huge,
followers.
but drop me some...
Okay. Anyways,
Lithuanian.
so he made a little thing for it. So my hair was so fried. I went in, and Gary was working in Yorkville. I can't remember. Michael Cluthe. Yeah, at Michael Cluthe's. And he looked at my hair and he said, "This is the wrong cut for you." And I said, "No shit." So, wow, God, I've known him for 40 years.
Yeah. But as a friend, you just should do it.
Oh, yeah, we used to do.
He's got great stories.
Oh, God, does he have good
Oh,
stories?
yeah,
Well, that's how he got on this program. I
Yeah.
said, give me those stories.
Well, it's half the fun of having him cut your hair. I've also been going to him for like 50 years.
There was one night that it was at St. Clair, and the restaurant is now deceased, and a friend of his owned it. So we sat there and drank after hours, and there might have been some blow involved. And I was cat sitting. I'm always cat sitting.
Yeah, what's that about?
For my friend. And Gary and I stayed up all night in the backyard drinking. And he said, "I got to go. I got an 8 o'clock appointment." And it was like 7 o'clock. And I said, "Remind me never to have an 8 o'clock appointment." He was still drunk.
Wow. Okay, the real talk here. Yeah. By the way, I just remembered, Rob, we bumped into each other at the Ron James stand-up.
That's right.
I know Rita was in the house, but I didn't see her. I saw you, though.
We know, with a lot of people we knew there. Yeah.
Oh, we've known Ron James for he worked. Ages. He lived in the beach.
Yeah. And way back in the day, he was in the Second City Touring Company, which did shows at Deerhurst Inn. And we hung out with them there and with a waitress at the time who was singing in the lounge, whose name was Shania Twain.
No, Rhonda Silver, and she introduced us to Shania.
Yeah,
She brought her back to our. We all went in the hot tub, and we broke the hot tub.
Yeah, We broke a hot tub with Shania Twain.
Okay, well, okay. Keep dropping the names, please. Like, I
Sure.
absolutely love how these connections happen. So,
Do you know who Rhonda Silver was, right?
wait, say the name, Ron.
Help me,
Rhonda Silver.
No.
They wrote Help Me Rhonda for her, the Beach Boys.
See, I don't know the name.
She was in a group called the Girlfriends
Girlfriends.
in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, thank you, because I'm always learning here,
Yeah.
and got to fill in these missing links here. So, can we again, Rob? You're but the co-host. You can chime in anytime,
Okay.
and help keep us
Only
on
if
track.
you raise your arm.
Yeah, put up your hand, and we'll see if I call on you.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Isn't this like a serial killer's mask?
yeah. It's Jason. Well, that mask predates Friday the 13th. So that's real. That's not a replica.
They
That's
stole
not-
it from
So-
you.
Yeah, they stole it from me.
Do you wear this?
On Halloween, I've been known to throw it on when I take the kids around or
Or
something
your
like
kinky
that.
nights? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's the after hours real talk program here. But Rita, okay, so we have you as a young woman living in Etobicoke, and you're at Mr. Christie. Mr. Christie, you make good cookies. Just don't mail them, you asshole. That was a Jeremy Hotz bit. I just saw a panel discussion of Ken Finkelman.
Yeah.
And other
oh,
cast-
that's right. From the newsroom.
From the newsroom, right? No Jeremy Hotz at this panel thing. But I've been trying to get Ken Finkelman on Toronto Mike for years, because I have people like Jeremy Hotz on and Colin Brunton, and they tell me that this guy was a complete asshole, so difficult to work with. So I got to meet this guy and talk to him, right? Yeah. But I can't get him on. But Bedini managed to dig him up and put him at the Paradise, and I went there last week. But how did I get on Hotz? Oh, yeah, he had the Mr. Christie joke when in his stand-up here. But Rita, walk me through it. Like, how do you end up stargazing? I need the A to Z of the Rita Zekas career here.
Okay, so when I graduated from U of T with a perfectly useless degree in honors English.
I have one of those.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But mine's a double major, English and history.
But here we are in a basement. That's my point.
Right.
Anyway, so I decided, I didn't want to teach. That was always a fallback, because remember when you write your final exams, right? And you think, I totally screwed this one, but I can go to teachers college because they'll take anybody. And my mother always wanted me to be a teacher. She said, think of the holidays. And I said, think of the kids. Ew, no, shoot me now. So I went through the Yellow Pages, okay, for those of you that are young.
I don't think anyone that young is listening to you.
Okay. They had those Yellow Pages. I went through publishing, right? So I said, because I know English, I know how to read, so I could probably proofread, I could do all that, right?
And you could write, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
So I went through and I finally got down to racing form. I got to the R's because I'd gone to, like, a lot of the publishing places were based in New York or Montreal. And I went to a couple of interviews and they'd ask me stuff like, what religion are you? And I thought, it's none of your goddamn business what religion I am. I was very offended. So, no. And then I got to racing form. And I said, do you need any proofreaders or whatever? The hell. So they said, no, but TV Guide is looking for something. So I thought, okay. So I went to my interview at TV Guide. They gave me a French test. I also took French in, university and all that stuff. So, and my proofreading skills apparently were great, and they hired me on the spot.
And we should interject at this point, TV Guide was the most read magazine in the world.
Yes.
At the time.
Yes.
Was Bill Brio there, or does he come later?
Oh, no, that's
way later.
Much later.
Yeah, I got to get my Brio time.
I was at the Star by the time he got there. Right.
So it's funny when you said racing form. I was thinking of my dear friend Peter Gross. I feel so. Is racing form, is that like a horse racing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see he was probably reading racing form. But so you just got a gig at TV Guide. Okay, so
that was owned by Triangle Publication. That was owned by Walter Annenberg, who was the ambassador. Was it the UK ambassador? I'm not sure. He was an ambassador. Anyway, we called him Uncle Walter because he used to come in. And the head office was in Radnor, and he'd come in and turn off everybody's lights as soon as you got up to go to the bathroom. He'd turn the light off in your desk.
But she was doing, it's interesting because she was doing really the prototype of stargazing, which is TV teletype.
Yeah. Tell us what you were doing at TV Guide.
No byline on it. But I was an avid reader of this. This was like decades before.
Well,
I
yeah,
met her.
like you said, back in the day, TV Guide was massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did TV teletype, and I did the thing front and the back. And it was kind of a gossipy thing. It was just kind of me being snarky because, I didn't have my byline on it, and I figured nobody read it. And I remember lining up at Dominion, and my roommate was like, "Oh, there's one of your fans," and this guy was picking his nose and reading it, and I said, "Oh, this is my readership. Oh God, I'm doomed."
The snot contingent, the snot demographic.
So the snark, was it always in you, the snark? Because I detect this. I like a little snark, but
Yeah.
you've got a little.
Yeah, we like snark.
Yeah, I'm pro snark.
Yeah.
You're in the right place. But
Who isn't?
were you always this way? Like in high school, were you this way? And which high school did you go to?
Royal York Collegiate.
Yeah, right. You told me that
Yeah.
already. It's
But you
Royal
were a
York, but
nerd.
what did that the name like that high school doesn't exist today?
No,
right?
it's the Center for Performing Arts.
Wait, is that a Tobical School of the Arts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
on
ESA.
Royal York Road.
Okay. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. My kid plays soccer behind it now. But Etobicoke School, and one of my kids is interested in going there possibly. But Etobicoke School of the Arts, and it's they put a Catholic school down the street there, Bishop Allen Academy, which is like almost right next door here. Okay, so were you always a little snarky?
I would say. Yeah. Yeah.
As a defense mechanism, because you were not a popular girl in school.
Oh God, I was a total nerd. I used to do I'd put makeup on in the drama club, and I also joined the drama club because they would let you work the coat room during the proms, right? The dances. So myself and my friend, we'd go through everybody's pockets while they were and try on the coats and pull out a cigarette. We wouldn't take money. We would take a cigarette and we'd try on
Right.
all the cool coats.
No money was taken by Rita
No,
Zekas.
no.
I want to make sure we're clear on that one. Okay,
They never had any money anyway. Why would you take money to the school dance?
right now. You're at TV Guide. Just walk me through next. I guess we got to get you to the Toronto Star.
Okay, so I was the assistant editor for the Montreal St. Lawrence edition, right? So we had to program in French and in English, which was really interesting when we went on strike and we went down to Atlanta, Georgia, and we put the proofs to the editors down there, and they were like, "What?" But anyway, the good old boys. So I worked my way up to regional editor. So I ran the joint. Yeah.
And then where do you go from there?
I went to Europe.
Oh.
I quit and I went to Europe for a year, and then I came back, and that's when I became the regional editor. I worked after I, killed everybody on my way, and then I quit. I quit TV Guide and went to the South Pacific for 6 months. You see a pattern here, right?
Yeah.
And when I went back, I was in a relationship at the time that was going nowhere, so we were splitting up. So I went. This is how I got to the Star. We had, my ex at the time decided that we were living there with another couple, and her mother, she was a nurse, and one of her patients died and left her mother this fabulous house. So her mother gave her house on Lawrence, which was fine. So Miriam and Alex moved out, so we had to get somebody to help with the rent. So my ex brought in this guy who I disliked immensely. He was a real alcoholic, and he would sit with his greasy hair on my wingback chair, and I would be like spraying all around him. But he was responsible for me inadvertently working at the Star because of course we had to go to the boozeria. And while I was there, I ran into Ron Bass and what's his name, Ray Bennett, who worked at Ron Bass had a column at I knew him from TV Guide. So
Later became the Star movie critic.
yeah. So they were like, "So what are you doing?" And I said, "I just got back from the South Pacific and I need a job because John and I are splitting up." So he said, "Oh, you know what? They're looking for somebody for Star Week magazine. They're looking for an editor." And he said, "Why don't you call blah, blah?" So I called blah, blah, went for an interview, and I was the most capable person that they could ever have because I already knew everything. I ran the bloody office.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, your TV Guide pedigree makes you the ideal candidate for Star Week.
Exactly. Yeah.
And who's the blah, blah, blah? You just don't remember, or you don't want to name blah, blah, blah?
Denny, who is the...
Sheena Patterson.
Sheena Patterson.
Because in 100 years, they're going to be listening to this episode to learn more about Rita Zekas' life and time.
But it was, Sheena was looking for it because it was Denny somebody else who was actually,
Yeah.
I can't remember his last name.
Oh, Nori?
No, it doesn't matter.
See, that's why Rob's here. He's supposed to have these
Yeah,
names.
but
Exactly.
see, what good is he? You're dead weight.
Between the two of us, we share a
A brain.
Yeah. Well, we're
Don't
discovering
quote
this.
us on that.
You quoted yourself. So Star Week, tell the listen. I mean, I loved Star Week. I love Star Week. Tell me, what year about are we in here? Like, where are we when you're gonna?
1979.
That's also a Smashing Pumpkins song. 1970. Yes, 1979.
Wow.
So I'm very young at 79. I'm probably not reading Star Week, but at some point thereafter, I discover the joy that is Star Week. So can you maybe tell us of some of the people that you worked with on Star Week?
There was Mary, who is, I can't remember her last name. We always called her Mary. She was quite the character. She was the assistant art director. And she would come in all year wearing flip-flops. Okay. With the rattiest fur coat you'd ever see. In the winter, the rattiest fur coat you'd ever seen because she was into thrifting.
Right.
And it was just like, Mary, your feet are gonna just chunks of ice here. Oh no, I don't feel the cold. Oh yeah, we're all looking at her like thinking, oh, we got 911 here.
Well, that's why she doesn't feel the cold. The nerves are dead from being frozen.
And then there was David Perry, who is also a great cartoonist. He's now in the States, and he was a great cartoonist. I think he's doing that. And then there was Steve Jarrett, who I have no idea.
He went to become politician.
Oh, did
actually.
he?
Yeah.
Oh. And then Colleen Denike, and then she kept marrying people and changing her last name. I lost track of whatever her last name. It was Denike and Castrinas. She was fabulous.
A lot of crazy people in Star Week. I was there for a while.
A lot of crazy people at the Star.
Yes, that's true. We were there the golden era. It was just sort of post All the President's Men and newspaper journalism. Not only was it cool, it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, so when do you meet Rita?
She was at Star Week, and there are three versions of this meeting. The first one is she does not remember, but I was doing a story on a guy who was licensing T-shirts, Elvis and Marilyn Monroe and stuff. Harry the Bear Geisler, and we needed somebody to model one of the T-shirts for the story, and she was like the hottest babe in the newsroom, so we got her to do it. She does not remember me from this photo session.
But I have the picture.
We have the photo, so I have proof that it did
I
happen.
don't remember him at all in it.
Yeah. Second time was I was doing stand-up at Yuck Yucks, and she was there and does not remember seeing me at all. Then there was the Christmas party where you decided you kind of liked me.
But at this point, you're obviously interested in Rita.
Yeah, but I was married, so
Okay.
I had to be very surreptitious.
I understand.
Not happily married at all, to a total psychotic.
Real talk.
So she kind of was interested at the Christmas party, and then, I used to sell her weed, and I'd tell him.
Gave me bad counts.
I used to rip her off.
Like the thumb on the scale, right? It was like, I know the counts because I was married to a total,
Mafioso.
a mob.
a mob guy.
I was married to the mob.
Really?
Oh, I have stories.
Yeah, the
New
ex.
Jersey. Wait a minute. Walking cultural stereotype from New Jersey, right?
I watched The Sopranos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just like that.
You got to tell him this party story with the guy with the jacket.
Oh, that was a wedding.
The wedding.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good married to the mob story.
Okay. We were splitting up, right? And I'd moved into the beach. This was after I got back, right? After the greasy-haired guy and whatever. So we were going to the wedding, and he said, my parents don't know we're split up, right? So he said, just be cool. So I said, yeah, okay. And he was, I think he was in the States, and he was coming back. So, he said, I've got my suit in your place. And I said, yeah, pinstripe.
What a cliche.
No. So he said, he said, I'll meet you. And I said, well, what are you going to be wearing? I said, I will be having a violin case with the guns in it. And there's a carnation on my lapel. And I said, well, you're going to have a white suit and smoking a cigar. And he said, that's not funny. And I said, well, actually it is. But so we get there and they're getting married in New Jersey. And it's his cousin who, last time we were in New York. And he said, oh, it was a Picasso thing. He said, would you get me a poster? I said, sure, here. So he has this roll of hundreds, like you see it, and he with the elastic band. And I said, is that real? He said, yeah. So he said, pulls off a couple of hundreds, and he said, have lunch on me. And I said, hell no, I'm going to Saks, you know.
Okay, so the wedding.
Okay, the wedding. So this guy...
This is why I'm here.
So,
although I do like the journey. It's not always the destination.
Exactly.
Remember that,
okay,
Rob.
so he's marrying this girl that looks like she's a hooker from Vegas, right? She's a pre-Kardashian, okay? That's how it can, before we knew they were there. Anyhow, so she's going down, and she's like waving at people and blowing kisses in the church. And I'm going, oh my God. Now, scrolling back a bit, his brother, who I loved, said he was a forest ranger. And he said, I've got the suit, but he said, I've got my forest ranger shoes on, my boots on. They said, it's okay, Michael. Nobody's going, it's fine, right? So he's sitting with me. I liked him, and his brother was, we were breaking up. So they're going down, and it's like a Vegas wedding, but she thinks it is. She's the only one that thinks it is, and everybody's like slack-jawed. And then we kneel down, and there's these women sitting in front of it, like kneeling down, and they've got like Manolo Blahniks and all these expensive things with slingbacks. And I said to Michael, look at their feet. Their feet are all dirty. Don't feel bad about your shoes. So I'm thinking, oh, this is an amazing wedding. So on the outside, they're posing for the pictures, right? And there was this insidious woman who was she was from Bergdorf's or something, and she was like the wardrobe person to, pulling the dress, and she's insisting on being with the wedding party with the picture. She infiltrates herself, right? And I'm saying to Michael, by the way, we smoked a joint before we bought it. So Michael and I are like, oh my God, this is a travesty. Get this woman, get the hook.
None of this is the point.
Okay, but I'm leading up to it.
It's a journey.
Okay. So this woman, the picture, the shutter, as they're taking the shutter, there's a wind that's blowing, and she's wearing a wrap dress, and it opens up, and she's not wearing any underwear. So we see her bush. Michael and I are now peeing ourselves. Okay, so the reception's at the Plaza Hotel, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting with this guy in a white dinner jacket, and he looks like the consigliere, right? And it was surf and turf. So I said, I'll trade you my turf for your surf. And he said, fine. And I'm drinking champagne and stuff and everything. Right. And I'm cold. So he gives me his jacket, like a gentleman, right? So I'm like, thank you so much. And he goes off. So John, my ex, comes and sits down. And I said, oh, my God. I said, there's a whole bunch of dope here, like blow, right?
Okay.
A bag.
So blow, not cannabis. We're talking
blow.
Cocaine. Okay.
Well, we're talking the mob here.
Yeah.
So I put it in my clutch bag as a joke.
Okay.
Right? I forget about it. I'm wandering off, and then finally this guy comes and hunts me down and said, "You have something of mine."
Wow.
And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he pulls a gun on me.
Wow.
And I said, I was only kidding. Here.
But there's a gun on you right now.
Yeah.
You're shitting bricks, right?
No, I was peeing my pants.
Peeing your pants. Okay, that's
the bricks come later. So there I go. So John comes, I said, what was that about? And I told him, he said, are you kidding me? Do you know who this guy is? He could have you offed. And I said, well, he got his bag back. So then John goes back to New Jersey or wherever, and he calls me up and he said, well, we don't have to worry about Mr. X. And I said, why? He said, he was gunned down the other day.
Wow. Married to the mob.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But you got out. Can you even leave a guy who's connected? Sounds dangerous.
Oh, it was, because he stalked me for a year.
Yeah, and shot up
You're
her
lucky
apartment.
that's all he did.
He shot at my apartment.
And she never told me any of this. I was like right after this.
Oh yeah.
You need to give him a warning. Hey, you're following a mobster.
Yeah, and when I went to New York with my girlfriend, we changed hotels because we were at some Fleabag hotel that David Perry recommended. Thanks, David. Like we sit down and open the bedding, and it's pubic hair all over it, and I was like, okay, we're out of here. So we changed hotels. Meanwhile, I'm getting messages from my ex, like little
Pre-cell phones.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. Of course.
guys are showing up at all the different, and then he shows up to sitting down beside me in my flight on the way home. A year after we'd broken up, but I've been stalked for a year.
Yeah, that's horrible.
No, not really, because I couldn't eat or drink. I was so skinny. I
She
lived
found
on
a positive spin.
Yeah,
Silver lining.
Silver lining. But that's awful that happened to you. But then you met this, I guess you remembered him for the weed, right? Like the first few times you meet Rob Salem, you don't remember him. But then he's
No,
selling
I knew him, but
he's putting his thumb on the scale and he's screwing you over, and you know because you were married to the mom.
Yeah, but also too at the Christmas party he wrote a song, and I liked it. It was I'm a copy boy, and that's okay.
I was a copy boy. Then.
Yeah,
Or actually, I had been a copy.
I
boy.
drink all night and I sleep all day.
Sure.
So he did all that, and I said, well, that's pretty clever. And he had a guitar, and I thought, yeah, well, maybe he's not really that much of a doofus.
And he was on the stage at Yuck Yucks, so he must have been funny.
No, he's terrible at stand up.
Well, that
I was
explains.
terrible. I was mediocre.
Before I forget, I had coffee today with a Care Bear. Her name is Eva Almos. And then I just
Eva.
mentioned that you guys were coming
Oh,
over.
I love Eva.
So I left her to get here in time for your visit.
Aw.
And she said, please say hi for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
We love Eva.
So how do you know Eva?
Oh, God. Well, we traveled in the same circles. for
It was
years.
from the 80s, Queen Street West.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was everybody. That's, Catherine O'Hara, Michael, Mary Margaret, Michael at the Squeeze Club,
Marcus.
Marcus at the Squeeze Club, yeah.
Well, we've lost Catherine. Would you maybe share a little more about Catherine O'Hara, the late
God.
great?
It was interesting when the Star ran sort of a compilation page of all the stuff that they had written about her over the years. It was all stuff that the two of us wrote.
bet.
There were like 6 pieces, and if she didn't write it, I did, and vice versa. She was, well, I was an extra on SCTV back when I thought I was funny. And in fact, I was taking Second City workshops with John Candy, and John Candy was the one who said, get into stand-up. So because of the Second City workshop, which I think was his way of saying you don't work well with others.
Right.
As an offshoot of Second City workshops, I was in special business extra, which just means you do everything but talk, because then they had to pay you more.
You just take up space.
Yeah. So I had to work. I got to work with all these incredibly brilliant, talented people. And watching that show get shot, I mean, because they're all improvisational actors, and watching them do take after take, and each take was just a little bit different. And they were also all writers. It was the most incredible experience.
Quite a moment, right? And quite a moment in time,
and
that collective.
I was madly in love with her. Absolutely. And she knew it. And she only twisted the knife on occasion. But yeah, I had a huge crush. And I got to see those magnificent people in that sort of nascent SCTV period.
I don't think there's anybody in her orbit that didn't love Catherine.
Oh, she was the kindest, smartest, funniest, just an absolutely lovely, brilliant person. As you know, I mean, her performances spoke to all of that. The humanity that even if she was playing like Delia Dietz or Moira Rose.
Nobody has a bad word to say about Catherine O'Hara.
No, she was. The whole family is absolutely lovely. I mean, I can't imagine what it was like growing up.
They're
in that home.
Etobicoke people. They're from.
They're like 8 kids or something.
Yeah, I mean, I get calls from Michael once in a while, but yeah, that's a big family, and I think that's near Cloverdale Mall. Like, is where they're.
I worked at the Dominion in Cloverdale Mall when I was in grade 12.
It's mainly because of the meat, right?
Yeah.
Mainly because
That's still there. That Dominion in Cloverdale Mall, still
but
there.
it's called Metro now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry. You know what? That's true. It is Dominion now called Metro, but the actual grocery store is still there. There is a Home Hardware in that mall. that is like unique in that you get like discounted chocolates and weird knickknacks that they pick up. I guess maybe it was slightly damaged or the label was like there was a typo or something, and they sell it cheap. Like, so people make like pilgrimages to the Home Hardware in Cloverdale Mall.
Good to know.
And they were going to tear it down for condos, but it turns out nobody's buying condos.
I read about that in the Star. In the Star.
Okay, you worked at the Star?
Read the Star. They pay our pension.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get to the Star in a moment here, but I got to shout out Robert Lawson, who's working at the music shop in Music World, right? That's the name? No, Sunrise. I got to get the right store. Sunrise in Cloverdale is managed by FOTM Robert Lawson, so I'm just saying hello to Robert here. Okay, we got to talk more about the Star, but I did recently have David Bronstein on the show, and I at the time you were scheduled to come in like the next week, but then you of course postponed. But he said that you guys would write nice things about him. Do you have any memory of writing nice things
Never
about
nice.
Dial a Date?
I
He
don't
might have thought they
I
were
don't
nice.
even know who he
Oh,
is.
he did that horrific
Dial-A-Date.
commercial, Dial-A-Date.
Infomercials more than anything.
It's personal. And
Right.
He was
You
just
call
the most,
this number right now. Talk to attractive single women.
Don't
I'm
you
kind of doing a
remember
David
this?
Bronstein right now.
Oh God, yeah. They
They were everywhere.
We never wrote anything nice about him.
No.
We
Okay,
crapped
why
on
does
him
he think he wrote
constantly.
nice things about
well,
him?
But I mean, he was doing those things and he was proud of them.
It's
so,
probably ate his brain.
I mean, it's paid programming. I'm surprised you wrote about him at all.
because
Although he was a part of the fabric.
Exactly. He was
Yeah.
he was such an iconic character.
Pick up the
Just
phone.
so
What are you doing?
annoying.
Call right now.
Yeah. Oh, he was so annoying. We wrote that on
on more than one occasion.
the earlier version of Stargazing. She turned it into this whole other thing, but very
We did Rob and
for
Rita.
a couple of years we did Rob and Rita. It was so we were just started living together and we're writing together.
Okay, so because we got to revisit the Star thing, but there's one more name because you've been in the calendar so many times that there's been so many different people that I would just basically say my next guest is Rob Salem and Rita Zekas. One of my guests, this is how long ago that you were in the calendar. Carla Collins was here in the basement, and she said they did not write nice things about me.
No, we were friends. Carla and I were good friends, and
I didn't write nasty.
No, I did. I did.
You
This
were
was
the
later when I was
the
TV
poison
critic.
pen one.
This is when I was TV critic, and we were friends, and I would give her occasional career advice, and she would ignore it, and so she did. She moved to L.A., where there are, of course, no tall blondes.
Yeah.
And
Well, they all go to die there.
yeah, married Tyrone Power's son.
Right.
And did a reality show called Carla Wood, I think.
Yeah, Carla Wood. Yeah,
Carla
that sounds
Wood.
right.
So they sent me a screener. I was a TV critic at the time. Sent me a screener, and it was horrific. It was absolutely embarrassing, horrific, humiliating for her. And I said, I'm not going to review it. And that's a problem because I had a lot of friends in the business and I would have to review their work. And sometimes it was terrible.
Right.
And I would usually try to avoid that conflict. And again, probably wrongly would
Because it'll
not
ruin the friendship.
Well, that
And if you write glowing reviews,
Yeah,
it looks
yes.
like you're biased.
well, yeah,
yeah.
you can never do that. You always
Yeah.
have to give your absolute opinion.
You have to declare a conflict of interest, which I did several times.
As did I.
Yeah.
But you can't fudge it, and you can't say something's better than it is. So I just didn't want to write about it, and I didn't have to. And it went from being on the main network, CTV, to CTV2 or one of their smaller networks. They moved it. So I said, and again, I refused to write about it. And their publicist was on me and on me and on me to write about it. And I just said, I didn't say why. I just said no. So eventually I said, well, you have to write about it because they've just moved it to this other secondary network. To which I wrote, Carla Wood, blah, 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 Carla Collins show, reality. They have moved it from the main network to the secondary network. Apparently someone actually watched the pilot. That's what I wrote.
And she never forgot.
She has never forgotten.
Right. That's the thing about sometimes you just get that one thing they never forget. One comment, one line.
No, and again, she got off. She'd never appreciate this, but she got off easy because it was fucking horrible.
See, I never saw it.
Nobody saw
Oh my
it.
God, it's probably on YouTube. It was that bad. It's like Corey Feldman level bad.
Which Rob can't stop watching.
I can't stop watching Corey
So-
Feldman on YouTube.
Okay, I'm not even in that loop.
Go there.
Go there.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm telling you.
I prefer to remember his movies with Corey Haim, as I
Yeah.
recall,
I'm
in
telling you,
License to
there's a
Drive.
whole world of Corey Feldman online.
I think the wrong Corey died.
It's a God. They were
Well,
both.
Haim was ours. He was a
Yeah.
And he was an
GTA guy.
obnoxious
That's what I
little
mean.
shit. I interviewed him when he was like 12.
Oh yeah.
He was horrible then.
So was that was it Stand By Me was Feldman?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
trying
this
to-
yeah, this
oh,
was
Lost
this
Boys.
was Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas.
This was way back when he was a kid.
But Lost Boys was before Lucas, wasn't it? Or was it-
No. Lost Boys was well after.
Well after. Okay, this is with Charlie Sheen, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Charlie-
Who's in
Char-
Lucas with, is it Emilio
No,
Estevez?
Charlie
or
Charlie Sheen was in Lucas.
Okay,
Right.
with a very young Corey Haim.
Right.
Okay, I'm
and
with
then
you.
Corey Feldman accused him of raping Corey Haim, which he denies. And it's
As one does.
This is a very deep cesspool of weirdness, and I'm telling you, there is a podcast called Jim and Them that does nothing but talk about Corey Feldman, and they've been doing it for like a decade.
And he was buddies with Michael Jackson, of course, which is its own
Yeah.
level
it's a thing.
of
I'm telling
weird.
you, anyone who is watching or listening.
Have,
to
but
this,
okay, have you ever met Corey Feldman?
no,
No.
have
you ever met Michael Jackson?
I did. I was in the proximity to Michael Jackson, but we did see them in concert when they did the
Jackson
final
5.
Jackson 5
The Victory Tour.
I did the walk up.
Yeah, she did the walk up.
This is like 84, maybe, like around then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
early
My mom
80s.
went to the show.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw
And
the
Michael
show.
didn't play Toronto much, so that was a big deal
No.
because Michael, I don't
'Cause
think he came back.
He was still with the Jackson 5 when he
Oh, that
played
was-
Well, he came
Toronto.
back to the Jackson 5, like
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
them a
That-
favor.
yeah, that's-
exactly.
yeah, that's-
because none of them were
He
working.
had already, Thriller had already dropped,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. No, this was a reunion, and they had that Pepsi deal at the time.
Right, and his hair got on fire.
His
Yeah,
hair
the
caught
one-
on fire.
yeah.
Yeah, I was, and I
And
can't
his
remember.
nose, I think his nose melted.
Something happened to that nose.
Yeah, well,
without a
because
doubt.
it was so built up, right? It was all built up, so it melted.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, I was at
okay.
a function that he was at, but he was just sequestered in the corner. somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Because I'm only curious because his nephew is playing Michael in some biopic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is like borderline propaganda piece.
Yeah.
Like this is all in the
Well,
family.
his daughter
here.
has disowned it, and at the same time admitting that she thought her father was a pedophile. It's Jackson's daughter.
Really,
Is
Paris.
Is
This is
Paris?
Yeah. She has said that, come out and said that, and she's also come out and said that she saw a version of the movie and or a version of the script and thought it was totally inaccurate. It was
Wow.
apparently very laudatory of Michael.
Whitewash.
Oh, yes.
So
No,
it's kind of a
whitewashing, as you,
so to speak.
I think they bail out after he does a Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
Like it's like we can't go any further because it gets messy.
Yeah, but anyway, she finally just ultimately said, "Hey, not my monkeys, not my circus." It's just good for them.
Interesting here.
Yeah.
So we have Rita Zekas now in FOTM. I'm gonna ask you a question about somebody from iWeekly shortly. But you're at Star Week. So walk me through like your Toronto Star career, because at some point we got just stargazing, and when are you writing with Rob, and just keep going. I want to hear more Rita Zekas. So you're at Star Week.
I was not even sequestered. I was told, was it told? Yeah, whatever. Page 2 editor. I became page 2 editor. Page 2 was a page that was supposed to be lighter than,
This is in the Sunday.
No. A section.
Oh, this is a section, right?
Remember?
Right.
With Mike. Anyway, we had Slinger.
Yeah.
Joey Slinger was
Right,
one.
right.
And we had
Gamester?
Frank Jones,
Gamester was.
George Gamester, and then there was the Boris Primo, big. And you had a big 3-4 column picture of Boris's every day, right? It was whatever, a seagull or I don't know, whatever, but it was sacrosanct. So I was the editor, and I also wrote like a little humor thing once. We cooked up little contests or be a kid again or whatever. So that's when they told me that the editor was going off somewhere and I was going to do that, which was fun because then I was allowed to write headlines, which is what I love
She
doing.
writes the best headlines. She gives good head.
I remember when what's his name? The really, really good writer. I can't remember his name now. He went to the Globe, and I remember writing one of his favorite. It was hockey's just another word for nothing left to lose, because it was all about who was it? Roy McGregor. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
It's been on the show.
loved him.
Her best headline it was a cut line
Oh.
for a picture. It was a review. They had a show at the Imperial Room back when that was the premier room, and they would put like this huge water tank on the
Of
stage
topless women.
of topless mermaids, and it was a topless dance mermaid, whatever. And so her cut line for the picture was tanks for the mammaries.
I got into
That's
so
good.
much trouble
So much trouble.
That's
from
good.
the feminists.
Yeah, and there were a few of them at the paper.
Yeah, but
Anyway, so page 2.
You got to name those feminists, no?
Yeah, well, Michelle Landsberg hated it.
Oh, right.
no,
then
what?
Rita
No,
Zekas.
it wasn't Michelle. It was Robin Harvey
Robin Harvey.
Okay.
that led the vigilantes.
Yeah. But anyway, you got shit canned off page 2. They canceled it.
Yeah, and I had to go into the Doug Marshall kicking and screaming was like, I don't want you.
He was the entertainment editor.
Yeah,
One of
right.
the best editors we've ever had.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was
Amazing.
wonderful.
But he hated her.
Yeah, he said I was going to dumb it down. Duh.
But why did he hate you?
Because she was being foisted on him.
Yeah,
Oh.
he didn't want me. Just
Right.
whatever. Then he realized he had me writing obituaries, like in advance, like old people that are
Right,
going to
right,
croak.
right.
So I'd pick up the phone and talk to them, and I got to be kiss of death. Nobody wanted to talk to me because what do you know? I'm like the dogs that sniff. No, the cats in the old homes, old people's homes that can smell death. So they jump on your thing, and you're pitching daisies the next day.
Well, let me give you something right now, Rita, since you talked about obituaries. This is a measuring tape from Ridley Funeral Home. So
Oh.
they're pillars of this community, and Ridley Funeral Home have a great podcast called Life's Undertaking. We're going to record a new episode next Wednesday. We have a new theme song thanks to Rob Pruce, and now you have a measuring tape.
Now we haven't measured. So
I love it.
Rob, there's one for you too. It's beside the
I have
Palma
it here,
Pasta
yeah.
box.
Oh, so we
there.
can use it next time we wallpaper.
oh, jeez.
Well, you know what? If you need any more, you know where to come. You'll get
Okay.
lasagna, you get a measuring tape, and of course, you have fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery, brewed right here in Southern Etobicoke. I know you're not big beer fanatics, but you
we
have
have
friends who
guests.
drop by
Yes.
who love fresh craft beer,
They love it.
and now you got some delicious beer.
Now we
for
can
them.
have people over.
Now you can finally socialize.
Oh,
Yeah.
because it was getting long.
We got lasagna. We got everything, right?
You got
Party.
everything here. Want to quickly say that tomorrow morning I'm recording a new episode of Building Toronto Skyline with Nick Iones. We're also going to do a new episode of Nick and Mike, or is it Mike and Nick? I think it's called Mike and Nick. And Nick Iones is a proud sponsor of this show. And one last tip for you, Rita, and for you, Rob. If you have old electronics, old devices, old cables, don't throw it in the garbage. Go to recyclemyelectronics.ca, put in your postal code, and find out where you can drop it off to be properly recycled. Thank you, recyclemyelectronics.ca.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that. I throw this stuff out, and I know I shouldn't.
It's
and I
you.
promise not to now.
Stop doing it because it's
I will.
free. They just say drop it off here, and they'll
Can't
make
they
sure.
come and pick it up?
You'll have to go to recyclemyelectronics.ca and see if they'll. For you, Rita Zekas, they might make that exception.
All right.
So,
Although printers and stuff, and we go through a lot of printers, if we just put it out in front of the house, it's gone within an hour.
somebody's gonna
Yeah.
see if they can
the
fix it.
scrap metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that works too, and maybe they'll take it to
What last piece
recyclemyelectronics.ca.
of junk that we put out?
It's a
In
printer.
yeah, within minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We
It's
have
popular
a
neighborhood.
person that comes and takes our wine bottles.
Oh, yeah.
We put them out the night before.
They come by fairly frequently.
You're having a good time over there. Okay, so Rita, you're this great editor is not a big Rita Zekas fan, so pick it up from there.
Well, he became a fan because I was like the self-cleaning editor. I could write and I could edit. So then he seconded me as editor. I was editing more than I was writing. I became the Sunday editor,
Sunday,
Spotlight editor, and then I became assistant entertainment editor.
Okay, and how closely, like at what point, Rob, do you join the fray here writing?
I was already there. I started in 1977. And I was a copy boy and then listings clerk. And then, so by the time she arrived, I was already writing for the entertainment department.
Okay.
So what happened was she was floating around as editor, writer, doing all sorts of stuff, and won over this editor who basically operated the department out of the bar downstairs.
The print room.
But an amazing editor, an amazing guy. Just
Best.
drunk.
Okay.
It was
And-
great.
Well, as many talented people are.
Exactly. No, I mean, and that it was journalism back there in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it was almost like everybody on the news desk had a bottle of scotch on their desk.
Yeah. So,
I don't drink scotch, by the way. That's not me.
They started up a tabloid Thursday publication that was like sort of broadsheet, or not broadsheet, but tabloid style, called What's On.
Of course.
And it had all the listings and...
May I interject to ask, is this a Toronto Star response to Now?
No,
No.
and actually Now started up stealing our listings. I used to be the listings clerk, so I recognized it. And when Now started up, they were just taking our listings out of the Star and reprinting them. And we caught them.
Oh, interesting. Because I always thought What's On was like the Tour Star kind of capitalizing on Now.
No. Now, the timing may have been that, but we always ran listings.
Yeah.
Always on Thursday. There were listings. Again, that was my first job there after Copy Boy, was listings clerk.
Okay,
So
so-
the listings got compiled into What's On Thursday, but the listings were there first.
Yeah.
And they admitted to it. They stole them. So in starting What's On, and I was the assistant editor of What's On, and I think at that time movie critic too. And they decided they wanted like a party column, like a gossipy party column, because at the time, Toronto was really
it was
becoming
the
Hollywood
80s.
North.
It was the 80s. And
So
there was
Sutton
so much,
Place and
yeah.
Bistro 990, and all of these people were in town shooting. There was a big celebrity, and this was like before the paparazzi thing really became big.
Of course.
And so we started doing this party column, Rob and Rita. Which I remember we shot the logo, and it was me holding a camera and you with a pad and paper. I never took a photo of my life at that point. But yeah, we started to do this
Yeah, we'd go out.
gossip column.
Yeah, and go to openings and
Yeah, parties and
There's
clubs.
one basic picture of you and I somewhere, and I mean it got to the point where at one point I said I don't want to see my face anymore, so I put a balloon in front of my face. I would try to get a prop in front of my face. I just did not want to see myself. This is like ridiculous, and we did that.
A couple of years.
Yeah,
Till we got bored with it, and then she transitioned into stargazing.
Stargazing started with Peter Goddard,
Yeah.
who said at one point he was editing or whatever, blah blah. There was it was kind of a compilation because we had those that big thing that all irregularly. It was listings about what was going on and
Yeah.
all that stuff too. That kind of extrapolated from that,
Yeah.
right? So Peter Goddard said, "Well, so and so lost his shirt somewhere. I think it's a good item." So I did that, and he said, "I want another column. We'll call it Stargazing." I said, "No, I don't want to. It's too much work." So that gradually became one column, and then two columns, and then I took over the whole page.
Because what happened at the same time was this paparazzi thing was starting, and there
Yeah.
were
Right.
people to shoot, and there was this guy who has since totally ripped her off. Louis out of focus, we called him at the
Yeah.
time. Louis de Philippis was the paparazzi and had other guys working for him. In fact, they did all the work.
Yeah.
But they were getting usually out of focus shots of whoever was in town going shopping or whatever.
Because it was so new that the Star was like, well, what's her name is Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan's not looking at the camera. I said, well, because she's shopping,
Yeah, they didn't get it.
and it's not a posed picture.
Wow.
It's the people out and about in their natural habitat.
Yeah, the editors did not get it.
Well, I'll tell
But
you
it was
both.
hugely popular.
Well, it was hugely popular. I'll tell you both. So I had over here yesterday 2 members of a band called Lowest of the Low, and one guy's name is Lawrence Nichols. So at the end of the episode, I say, tomorrow it's Rob Salem and Rita Zekas. And then we were chatting, Lawrence and I, after about how much Rob Salem and Rita Zekas we consumed in the entertainment section of the Toronto Star.
We worked
Like-
a lot.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, what a big deal it was. Well, Rob finally got you over, and this is your 3rd visit. But Rita Zekas is now in the TMDS basement. Rita Zekas. This is happening. I gotta pinch myself.
I've been known to. I lived in a basement apartment. I'm no.
You're a basement dweller.
I'm not a stranger to
But she doesn't think she's the most interesting person I have ever met in my life.
You have,
and
an,
that's
you
not
have an interesting
biased.
style. I mean, I'm hearing in the headphones the jewelry. I don't know if you could explain it to the podcast listeners, but you have like these, like I don't know how to even describe it. There are these very chunky, large bracelets, and there's big rings, and one of them is a skull. At least one of them. I feel like there might be a...
No, there's one here.
Yeah, this stuff spreads.
Oh, you got it too, Rob. Okay, you got the bracelets too.
My
infected
influence.
But you have a bit of an Annie Hall thing going on. I don't know if you had it first. Did Annie Hall steal it from you?
Well, she used to, because we used to be out every night, so there were high heels and stockings.
But you're wearing a tie.
But you started out as a bohemian, and you
Yeah.
have now returned to that.
Yeah, when I had to be civil, like wear civilized clothes. I mean, you go to a function, so I'm in the bathroom at the Star washing my face with those nasty paper towels and putting on pantyhose and whatever and makeup, and then coming back 3 hours later, taking it all off, sitting down, putting my T-shirt on and filing the copy.
Yeah. When's
So-
the last time you wore high heels?
Well, before my chiropractor died.
They're not good for you. These high heels.
But we were
no.
out like every night,
Yeah,
going to stuff and drinking.
which is why we don't go out now.
we do sometimes.
Yeah, last time you got beat up.
Who's beating you up?
Well,
You got headbutted.
this is
Really?
talking of the O'Hara clan.
Yeah.
Marcus and Michael and Mary Margaret would have for 48 years run this Martian Awareness Ball, fabulous event. All these great old friends getting together and listening to music and just hugging and just love and peace and wonderfulness. And they're such lovely people. And I go to the bar and we were there with our friend Gail Harvey. Come back and there's this guy who was just like all over Gail, this big drunk guy.
Or on something.
Right.
On something, anyway.
On some substance.
So
Yeah.
I keep yelling at him to get up, and he won't get up. So finally, I just grab him by the lapels. I'm a very nonviolent person, but I
Pulled
grabbed
him
him by the lapels and pulled him off her, and thought, okay, that's that. And then I turn around, and he headbutts me
Jeez.
He's like
across
6'6".
the room. The guy was huge.
Because Rob's a big guy.
Yeah, this guy
And he wasn't a
this guy's
young
bigger.
guy. He had naturally white hair.
Yeah, he was
And
a
his girlfriend
big
was
freaking guy.
in Gail's face and swearing at her, "Leave my man alone." And she's just trying to get away from him. And we were saying, "Excuse me, this take it. You can't." He said, "I just want to sit here for a while." "You can't. I'm sorry." And then our friend Joanne said, "I'm going to for security." And then he gets headbutted and propelled 6 feet and lands on his butt.
Well, I don't like to hear about the headshots because
Well,
my
the head
God.
was fine, but I landed on
so you
a
think?
vodka cooler can and tore a muscle or something. I was like, I'm still
Yeah.
in pain. This was a month ago.
Jeez. Okay,
but-
the headshots bother me as a survivor of a blood clot on the brain.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
my God.
And I mean, the neurologist can't tell me like what caused it, except a few years earlier, I had a bad bike crash and I split my helmet in two. Like I was wearing a helmet.
Oh, well, that was probably why. Yeah, duh.
But so the helmet took the brunt of it, but I always tied these two events together. Maybe
my
maybe
God.
incorrectly, but
No
maybe
doubt.
there is no reason why.
No, headbutts.
But I'm here to tell the tale here. Okay. But there's a gentleman I want to ask you about. I talked to Ed Keenan about this the other day. Do you know Ed Keenan?
No.
Not too well, because maybe after your time. Okay. So Ed Keenan worked at Eye Weekly. So would the Toronto Star people have know the Eye Weekly people? Like
Toronto
Yeah.
Star. It was a Toronto
Yeah.
Star publication.
It was.
that's the response to now.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that-
it was.
yeah.
It was, and in fact,
Toronto Star wanted to buy now.
Yeah, at some, yeah.
yeah. But they did, and I was actually down to the last two to edit that magazine, and Bill Burrell, who sadly
That's
just
who I'm
died.
asking you about
Yeah,
right now.
just
I
died
talked to Ed
recently.
Keenan about it. Would
He
you say a
died.
few words? Yes.
Yeah.
His nephew posted on Reddit, of all places. I read it, and then I did a piece about it, and I talked to his sister, William's sister.
Yeah.
I read so much William Burrell in my day in Eye Weekly. I read so much, and he just seemingly kind of disappeared from the.
He had some issues. He was
Yeah.
he was a very eccentric guy.
Yeah.
He was a reformed alcoholic, and but he used to bring a 6-pack of non-alcoholic
near beer.
Near beer.
to his desk, and he would take they made him
Take
an
the
editor.
proof.
After I folded, they brought him back. Part of the deal, I remember, because I was negotiating for the same deal, was that if the thing folded, they would bring you back.
So
to the
are you
entertainment
talking? So
department.
because it changes into the grid, but you're talking. So
It wasn't so much a change; they were two
it's
separate.
two separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
they-
They shelved it. Yeah.
they shelved it completely.
And then
And
William went back to Toronto.
Came back to
Came
the
to the
entertainment
entertainment
department,
department.
as like a junior editor, really. But he would take a page proof and go down to the cafeteria
with his beer.
with his beers.
And you wouldn't see him for 2 hours with
Yeah.
that one page.
He was, again, a very eccentric guy. Lovely man. I mean, he
Yeah.
was really sweet, but very hard to work with.
I find a lot of these interesting characters are like that, eccentric, and like it's
Yeah.
sort of part and parcel.
Yeah. But I know he wrote, the Hemingway book.
Yeah, about Hemingway's time in Toronto.
Yeah, which I
I love
haven't
Hemingway.
read. Yeah.
He and I would discuss Hemingway because I'm a big Hemingway fan
Yeah.
too.
So, I mean, we had a lovely relationship with him, but,
Yeah.
it was an interesting guy. He was an interesting guy, and it's very sorry to hear
Yeah.
that he's gone.
Yeah, oh,
He
yeah.
was a sweet soul.
Yeah. Yes, he definitely was.
That's what he was.
He was here. Now, I'm going to throw a name at you because I think I had this prepped for when you were coming by last time. I believe it would have been the 100th birthday of Jerry Lewis. Do either of you have a Jerry Lewis story?
Oh
Oh,
God.
yeah, I got a couple. I interviewed him on 3 occasions. the first one was, it was a movie called Slapstick of Another Kind with Madeline Kahn.
I've never
Ostensibly based-
heard of that.
No, I don't know the name of the
based on
movie.
the Kurt Vonnegut book Slapstick, but so not.
It's not related to the hockey movie.
No, it's a horrible, horrible movie. And he came through town. He was brought through town. And I was so intimidated because Nutty Professor is one of my favorite movies ever.
Right.
I not nuts about the rest of the Jerry Lewis oeuvre, but that movie is a piece of genius. So I was very intimidated. And on my way up to the hotel room to interview him, I'm reading hurriedly notes, and he's got an IQ of like 190 something. I mean, some ridiculous number. Don't even know if that was true.
Well,
But
so says he.
Yeah.
scared the crap out of me. So I get up there, and the fact that it's Jerry Lewis, and I'm still quite young at this point, and I basically just turned into Jerry Lewis. I was like, I couldn't. It was terrible anyway. So, but he was lovely. Second time I interview him, is much later on. He's touring in Damn Yankees, play the devil, and they fly me to Detroit. They used to fly us places. God, it was a great job. Fly me to Detroit, where he's stopped before Toronto, and I sit in his dressing room and we talk, and then he still wants to talk. Again, he's in this beneficent mood, and we in his limo on the way to his hotel, which is an hour out of town in Detroit, or just outside of Detroit. So it's like, if this doesn't go well,
Yeah.
it's going to be an awkward hour.
He's walking home.
Yeah. So, but I just kissed his butt, and I had done a lot of research, and it was a wonderful, wonderful interview. Great, Jerry Lewis. I got a great picture of the two of us. I post it at least once a year. And then the third time, it was like I was something he scraped off his shoe,
Interesting.
because I was lucky those first few times, because he was an absolute prick.
Oh, I interviewed him. Total asshole.
Hated
Sorry.
women, total misogynist.
threw
I've heard this. It's no shock.
He threw a basketball at me and at my face.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was a great basketball player, and I intercepted.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
You
Hated
play
his
with the
own
tempo.
kids. Hated his own kids. He was just a horrible, horrible, horrible man, and acted like it the last time I interviewed him. But I kind of got my revenge, because the Toronto Jewish Film Festival ran. There's a great documentary on the famous "The Day the Clown Cried."
I was going to ask if you would ever had a chance to see any part of that.
Yes, this documentary, "Light in the Darkness" or "Darkness," I don't know, whatever it is. It's Jerry Lewis. You can find it online, I'm sure. It's a documentary about the making of "The Day the Clown Cried," and it's got as much of the film as you would ever have to see, and it's pretty horrible. It's really horrible.
Now, I know that's been a punchline forever, and I've listened to podcasts and read about this film that was never released, but it does sound a little bit like Life is Beautiful.
And in fact, I talked about it
which won an Academy Award.
Yeah, I introduced this film at the Toronto Jewish Film Festival, which is how I know about it, and I talked about that clearly it wasn't the idea.
Like he was on to something.
Yeah, the idea was valid, but Jerry Lewis is so Jerry Lewis centric that he can't see outside of it.
Interesting.
And he shares that with Corey Feldman, actually.
Okay, well, so Corey Feldman, Jerry Lewis, who else is on this list?
Of totally deluded, self-involved
And
people.
have you ever interviewed Ken Finkelman?
No, but he doesn't like doing interviews. I'm not surprised you couldn't get him.
I
in
couldn't
here.
get him.
Yeah.
I tried very hard.
Yeah.
And he did do this panel thing, and I was there live. I'm going to talk about this on the next FOTM cast. But he was there, but he was kind of, as advertised, like just kind of like I expected him to be. But he did take a moment and say the actors were great, which I thought was, okay, well, he's giving some credit to the actors. But there was a woman there, Karen Hines, an actress who was in that series. And she sort of referred to this misogyny and that he didn't know how to write. Ken Finkelman did not know how to write for women and kind of touched on some stuff, got very interesting for a moment. So I reached out to Karen and booked her on Toronto Mike because we got to dive into this.
Oh, yeah.
Karen's going to come in.
Leah has something to say.
Yeah, they actually,
Vincent.
I ran into Leah Vincent and Peter Callahan.
Peter Callahan.
I ran into the two of them a couple days ago.
They
on the
met
newsroom.
On the newsroom.
Yeah,
Right.
and did Made in Canada as well.
They are a lovely couple.
They are. But I ran into them
him.
just a couple of days ago, and they talked about this event.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in
He
fact,
was on the panel, of course.
Yeah, they want to do something similar at Fox Theatre for, I guess, Made in Canada. I don't know which series, but asked me to.
But the newsroom, which they always had to be careful, because if you say to somebody the newsroom, they think Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
And there's some story I was reading where I think when they were the Aaron Sorkin newsroom was coming out, they called Ken and asked for his permission or something. Like possibly Ken Finkelman blessed the fact that they were going to use this name, the newsroom.
Yeah.
But here in this country, the newsroom was such a big deal.
Yeah.
First of all, it was good.
Yeah.
And Finkelman wrote every word of that damn show.
Yeah.
It was great. And it was unusual at the time for a Canadian show to be good.
Yeah.
Like it felt like, other than sketch shows like SCTV or Kids in the Hall.
But it was smart and it was dark.
Yeah.
And it was very current and it was a very smart show. And
very smart show. And when I think, because I didn't miss it, I loved it. And that's why I'm still talking about it today. But it really was heavily inspired by Larry Sanders' show.
Yeah.
Because Larry Sanders comes first. And they are cut from the same
very
cloth.
much the same sensibility.
That was brilliant.
Yes.
That was also a brilliant show.
Absolutely.
But and again, Made in Canada, talking about Peter and Leia, another terrific, and Rick Mercer in that was a wonderful show. We're capable of doing that in this country. I mean, there's Slings and Arrows, another amazing, smart
Gross,
Canadian show, and of course Schitt's Creek.
And the Lawyers series with
going back
Peterson.
even further, but
Street Legal?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good.
What did you think of Heavenly Bodies with Cynthia Dale?
I gave that its only good review. Talking about review,
right?
Well, yeah, because
That's
you're talking
Ron
about
Bass.
you're talking about reviewing Friends,
Right.
He
was our neighbor then.
Yeah, and again, I was very young. I was his B critic, so I was sat right next to him, and he wrote it, and. And it was very much of its time. It was like flash dance and aerobics, and anyway,
very flash dancey.
Very flash dance. Yeah.
So I don't remember what I wrote, but I really hedged, and because sometimes you can be selectively positive,
right?
And I think I did.
You danced around.
I did. I
more
totally
than Cynthia
danced around
Dale
it.
did.
So, exactly, and so. So I noticed there was a review in Variety, and it said something about it had that peculiar Canadian ambiance. And I show it to Bass, and he goes, "Yeah, bad lighting."
Like the dentist movies, right?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Now, I mentioned I had coffee today with Eva Almos, and we were talking about all the Nelvana work she did because she's a freaking Care Bear.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Nelvana, and I mentioned, Clive Smith came in. We were having a long chat. And then I mentioned my dear friend Stu Stone, who did 100 Nelvana projects over the years, a voiceover guy, whatnot. Yeah. And this is Stu. I know you can't see, but this is Stu Stone in his MTV show Blowing Up with Jamie Kennedy. But I'm bringing up Stu Stone only because he played Cynthia Dale's son in Heavenly Bodies, because Cynthia Dale had a little kid. And we bust his chops all the time. There's this terrible line of dialogue where he's reading, I don't know if it was Huckleberry Finn or something, and he goes, "Mommy, what's an orgy?" But this line delivery, and apparently, you only got one take on that movie. If you didn't get it in one take, you were SOL.
Yeah. Well, this was the era, as Rita says, of the dentist movie.
The dentist movies.
So the Canadian investments and tax write-offs and
is that like Cannibal Girls or something?
That was sort of pre-dentist.
Pre that, but that was also like a tax thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know if way back.
I feel
then,
like maybe
they had tax
back
credits.
to SCTV here.
But who is the guy the producer that did all those dentist movies?
Oh, Lantos.
No, before that, he was always running around.
David Perlmutter.
No.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of them.
But every once in a while, one of those would strike a chord, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, you would get like a good filmmaker.
was Black Christmas like that, or
Yeah,
no?
Yes.
yeah, Black
Okay.
Christmas broke out.
So there's an
Cannibal
That was a
example.
good
broke
one.
out.
Yeah.
Cronenberg came out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was doing these very cheap, low budget horror movies that were brilliant.
Yeah.
So we had the early days of the Canadian film industry were very much like sort of the Roger Corman school in the States, where Coppola came up and James Cameron and all these guys made their chops doing these cheap, cheesy movies. And what happened in Canada was all these American productions came up because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And we suddenly got these crews who became like really, really good at what they do.
Because they used to bring up all their own crews.
Yeah, but gradually, because to get the tax break, they'd have to employ local people. And the local people became like preferable to the American crews, because the American crews were very sort of teamstery, working to rule. And we obviously have union rules here, but the crews were just generally more cooperative and more
And thankful.
collaborative and thankful for the work. And really good. I mean, Guillermo del Toro makes all of his films now with Toronto crews.
Yeah.
And he's like a genius. So
he like lives here.
yeah, so our film industry came out of all of that.
All the
chaos.
dentist movies.
All the dentist movies and all the American imported productions. And we have this, this is not so great now, but we have a thriving film industry, or certainly filmmakers.
At one point in the Slutton, and it was like, I said something about if they dropped a bomb in the Slutton hotel, there'd be parking spaces in Beverly Hills, because they were all 3 men and a baby and everything. They all stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really the beginning of Hollywood North, with 3 men and a baby.
Oh, in a Leonard Nimoy direction, as
Leonard
I recall.
Nimoy.
And it was, everybody was like thrilled to see Tom Selleck and everybody, right? It was like, woo!
Oh, there was a great moment where that was shooting, and Burt Reynolds they were doing switching channels, also in Toronto, right about the same time. 3 Men and a Baby was shooting, and it was originally supposed to be Michael Caine, and he got tied up on Jaws 3D. So Burt Reynolds was
Which
taking,
bought him a house, I believe.
Burt Reynolds, as one does, you cast Burt Reynolds in the Michael Caine role.
Yeah.
So I was a movie critic then, and 2 Burt Reynolds movies had just come out, like fairly close together, and the toupees were really, really bad on both of them, like really obvious. And so I wrote a review of both of them as an open letter to Burt, because he's never going to read it,
Right.
saying, "Oh man, it looks like something crawled up there and died." And I mean,
Was the name of the movie Heat?
that was one of them.
Okay, my headline was, it wasn't the heat, it was the stupidity. That was
So-
my
That's
headline.
good.
Yeah. So
She's good.
So, she is. I'm telling you, she gives good head. So, so I crapped all over it. Then we find out Burt Reynolds is coming to town, and in fact, apparently read this on the plane on the way in. So he arrives in Toronto, just spitting blood, wants to kill me. Apparently, he is. We're at Bistro, because that's where we used to hang out.
Yeah.
And he's on his way over to Bistro with a couple of goons to beat me up. Somebody comes and tells me, "Oh, you know who told me this? Steve Guttenberg."
So Steve Guttenberg from 3 Men and a Baby, but also was here filming Police Academy.
Yes.
Down the street
Yeah,
from
he
here
had
is
been-
where
he-
the Commandant Lassard and his Police Academy is down the street
He had
from here.
been at Police Academy before in Toronto, and he was doing 3 Men and a Baby. Anyway, and so I knew him, and he's saying, "Listen, I just talked to somebody who's just talked to Burt Reynolds. He's on his way over here to beat
That's
the crap out
wild.
of me." So I am famously non-confrontational. I just,
Except for the other day.
Yeah,
I've got the fuck
the
out
head
of
butter.
Dodge. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it never happened, but it could have.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I could have gotten a bar fight with David Carradine and Dan Haggerty in Las Vegas. They were both wired to the tits.
I feel like I need the list of people you could have got in a fight with.
Those were, that was another one. But
Rob
unfortunately,
knows
security
all the
stepped-
exits in every hotel and
right.
every bar.
Wow.
Security stepped in before that one got interesting.
Okay, before I forget it, you guys have been amazing. I'm actually like wondering if this lasagna is so good, and I know it is amazing. Like maybe at some point in the future, I get you both back here. Like how? Maybe we'll get. The
Now that
review.
she's crossed,
Well, do we get 2 lasagnas?
I would give you 2 lasagnas if it guaranteed me a sequel, because then I'll just drop names on you and we'll do like react to them. But I want to make sure I know, why does stargazing come to an end?
Kardashians.
Yeah. It started with Well, actually, that night when we were watching, I said, you know what? Marky Mark is getting to be a pretty good actor.
And it was Matt Damon.
It was Matt Damon. I said, you know what? I can't tell these guys apart.
They are kind of similar.
Yeah, but then
Both
I
of The
did this
Departed.
thing about how this guy, young actor, morphs into this guy. That was a great illustration because I
Yeah.
said, I can't tell these guys apart. And I said, I think I've been doing this too long. And then it got to I was pre-Kardashians, but it was like,
Paris Hilton.
it was the Paris Hilton stuff. And I said, I can't type that name anymore. You know, I'm sorry, I'm done. So, yeah.
So you made the call on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And they kept it going. Never was as good, but they tried to keep it going in her absence. 2 other editors went through it.
No, I think that's got to be Rita Zekas or Get the Fuck Out is what I would say for that one here.
But she did morph it into some really interesting things. She did. She went to the life section and did artist in residence, which was because she's a design and fashion person too. So she did that. She did store gazing, where she took celebrities shopping.
And then I did the stealth shopper.
Yeah.
I would go into I love doing that. I'd go into stores and rate them on their service and I got sued only once, and that was fun.
But did
Not
they
getting
threaten to sue or did they actually
No, they
sue?
sued.
Yeah, but they were
Yeah.
advertisers. Who the hell was that? It was that China place
Yeah,
on Bloor.
yeah, it was in the not the Colonnade. It was in the Manulife Center.
Yeah.
It's still there,
Jeez.
but it's not.
It's a very-
Ashley and Crippen.
Ashley.
No. Was it Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Anyway, she
I used to
wrote
live in
about
that
what
neighborhood.
absolute total snots and horrible and just condescending they were.
I prefaced it with I was telling a friend of mine that was in the business. She said, "You're going in there." She said, "Do you want to borrow my my mink coat?" And I said, "No, I'm going to wear my overpriced trench coat. Thank you very much." I said, "I just want I said they didn't even treat me with polite contempt. It was impolite contempt. It was like, you stand over there, right?" And I wrote about it.
And you wrote about some prices.
Yeah.
And they said they were wrong. And so you went online and they were on the website. Those
Yeah.
were the prices. So they had, and again, they had a standing ad on the back of Star Week. or
Yeah, I
something.
was, yeah.
And so they were threatening to pull that.
Jeez.
They all the
That's
time.
the world of today, though. That was you were
Yeah.
letting you know where we're headed.
Yeah. She also did, back when we were writing for What's On, she did a thing on Honest Ed's, how you could get religious kitsch. We did like a tacky issue.
Yeah.
And so how you could buy all this kitschy religious stuff.
Sure.
And they wrote in claiming that you couldn't get that stuff. So
I went back.
and bought a bunch of it. We did a photo.
A whole full page.
Oh, geez.
Honest, Ed, you do have schlock.
I remember that schlock. Now, why do you eventually, when do you eventually leave the Toronto Star, Rita?
When did you leave?
When did you leave, Rob?
I left about 13 years ago. So I lasted about 5-6 years
After,
longer than you did.
I think I left about 2011
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you leave?
because it was a good buyout. And the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, you saw it coming and it came.
Yeah.
Yeah. The internet was.
Just ask Ben Rayner. I talked to
Yeah.
Ben on the reg, and he's having some struggles. But
Yeah.
He's couch surfing in Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I called him up there a couple of times. And
But he had the same thing. It's just newspapers suddenly the slats got kicked out from under them,
Yeah.
and Ben, just such a good writer, such a good writer, and her too. I mean, it's
Yeah, it seems like
He had
entertainment.
he had the messiest desk in the newsroom.
oh man, he prided himself on
You
it.
couldn't put like a post. You couldn't find a place to put this tape on it. A postage stamp couldn't live there.
Yeah.
It was just. But he knew. He's a Virgo like me. You know the clutter. You know where everything is. And it's like I would put down a tape or something. And he got, "Have you been messing around with my desk again?" I said, "I just put it on your." I had that piled up.
It was a mound
Brilliant.
of stuff like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
It was just it threatened to consume him.
I speaking of consumption, I consumed a lot of Ben Rayner too in the Toronto Star, but even like Peter Howell, who's been over here, I'm thinking of these stalwarts
he got
of the
my
entertainment thing. So Peter Howell, because he was doing music, right, and then
He was doing TTC,
TTC.
and then maybe music. I don't know.
Okay,
if
then
there was a
maybe music,
transition.
then maybe movies.
Yeah. He
And I
took
know he
over the
still does
movies for me.
freelance work.
Yeah.
And you'll still read some Peter Howell in the
Yeah.
Toronto Star.
He goes to Cannes.
I think
and
on his own
Sundust.
dime.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. I could probably still be writing TV criticism if I hadn't pissed off so many people.
Oh, yeah.
Because now they just use wire copy anyway. But you know what?
But it's a shame, right? Because you lose the local.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. And I don't know that I could cover TV now. There's just too much
There's
stuff.
too much.
I can barely watch TV.
Well, okay,
now.
so I produce the Humble and Fred show, and about once a month I put Bill Brio on the show just to talk about what he's watching. But without a doubt, I'll listen to Bill's appearance, and Bill's still blogging away, and he's working hard covering TV. But the big shows, I haven't got to that. I haven't heard that. It's almost like there's too much.
there is too much.
Yeah.
There's too much. And I know tonight is the finale of season 2 of The Pit. And that's a big deal. But back in the day with something like that, it would be like, I don't know, like 25 million people are going to tune in. But now it's like, I don't know, 800,000 people are going to tune in maybe. It's a
And
whole
when are
different
they
world.
going to tune in? They'll watch
Right.
it whenever
But
they
it was
want.
always an
On
event
demand.
thing when it was. I remember Rhoda's wedding
Right.
way
Yeah.
back when, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a big event.
You're right.
The end of MASH, we had a party.
Yeah.
I thought it was a chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that was an event. You got together, right? And that's
Well,
gone
that episode, and I was very young, but and
on MASH.
the MASH finale kind of what. So I butchered the line there. I think Alan Alda says it was a baby.
Yes.
It was a baby. That kind of haunts me to this day. This when he tells the psychiatrist that it was a baby.
Yeah, and that's so
Not a chicken.
I used to show that. I used to teach TV history at Humber, and I would show them that first half hour
Yes.
of that finale, which is that story.
Yeah.
It
It's
concludes-
chilling, like the way it's told.
so chilling.
Yeah.
The show was brilliant.
Although that episode I found it too long. Okay, it drags on. Like
Yeah.
it's a long. The priest is going blind. Was
Deaf,
it going deaf?
deaf.
You're right. He's going deaf.
Yeah.
Right. But it really drags. But that first half hour with the, I thought it was it was a baby. It was a baby.
It was a
That's
baby. He thought it
that's
was chicken.
haunting stuff, man.
Oh yeah, it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
But you're right. What an event! I don't know, 83 million people tune in or something.
I remember it.
Yeah, that was, and I think it still holds a record, certainly for the time.
I
We
think
were
so.
wearing MASH T-shirts, and I don't know. I have
Yeah,
a picture.
4077th.
Yeah, and I have a picture of an ice bucket on my head.
And we just lost Major Houlihan. She just passed away.
Yeah,
fairly recently.
actually, she and Rita had a really
Yeah,
good.
we were on. It was on the set of Beer. And She was, and I was buying my house, right? And it was on no cell phones. I walked by and I was pissed off. She said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "Oh, I'm having difficulty getting a mortgage, and they want my father to co-sign." And I said, "I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to get my dad to co-sign." She said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, she was buying property in Beverly Hills or something. She said, and they wanted my father to co-sign. And she said, "I make more in a week than he has done in his whole life." And he was a tradesman, like a carpenter or something. And I said, "Are you kidding me? Loretta Swit?"
Right.
Women couldn't have credit cards in their own name till like the 80s.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It was like mid 80s,
Yeah.
right? And I was working at the Star, and I was making a decent salary. Not hoop-de-doo, but
We never made a decent salary.
Well, how are things going? Like you got the package, and that's a while ago now. Like how
that's
are,
all gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, as pensions go, they're good pensions, but this is not a good time to be retired.
No.
It sounds like the Rio Statics line. It's a bad time to be poor.
It is. And everybody, the only thing is that misery loves company, and everybody's poor. But it's really tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, don't be an ink stained wretch, because it's be something else. Be a stripper or something.
No, but my great frustration with her was, I mean, she's got such a sense of style and fashion, and she should have been a stylist, because we would be made of money. Because those people make
Yeah,
a
I
lot
could
of
work for the
cash.
Kardashians.
We both pride ourselves on the fact that even though our careers crossed over a bit with them, we have never seen an episode of the Kardashians.
Yeah, that's a claim to fame, because I would make the same claim. It would be a lie, only because my wife actually, when we first started dating, seemed to enjoy that show, and it was definitely on when I was in the room.
Well, a lot of people like to hate watch it, but
Yeah.
I
I
didn't
can't
wanna
even
go
hate
there.
watch it.
You know, and I've
not
had
my
to
cup
watch.
of tea.
I've had to watch a lot of crap television. I mean, it used to be my
I mean,
job.
if the cardinal sin that she did was to take Marilyn Monroe's iconic dress
Yeah.
and rip it. She sat down, and of course it was all pinned together because
A giant ass.
And my comment was, I said her ego's as big as her ass.
Yeah.
To have, to wear that.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have.
This was the famous Marilyn dress from Happy Birthday,
Yeah.
Mr. President. And
Yeah.
she wore it to the what? What is that gala? The Met Gala.
The Met Gala, sure.
Yeah.
With Pete Davidson.
Oh, that's right. She was
That
dating
was-
Pete
yeah.
Right,
Davidson.
yeah, for a spell there.
Now,
Yeah.
what's that about Pete Davidson? He must be hung like a horse. It's the only
Yeah, he does
explanation.
well, right? With
Yeah.
the
Oh, it's unbelievable.
He's had his tattoos removed because he's going to be a serious actor.
He wasn't something that was from something that was taking place in Long Island, and I
Yeah,
remember it was very good.
It was really good.
He wrote
He
that.
might have the chops. Yeah, he wrote that.
He
Right.
was a
It was
terrific
really good.
performance,
Yeah, I agree.
No,
so
he's-
there might be something there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Absolutely.
think he's got a future. He's just had a kid, apparently.
He just has to get out of his own way. That's all.
It was smart getting off SNL, I think.
So earlier you talked about Burt Reynolds, and then
Yeah.
there was a little discussion about Marky Mark. I remember it came up in the comment because you got him confused with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'm here
No,
to tell
no,
you,
Leonardo-
Matt
No.
Damon.
Matt Damon, right?
Okay,
Although Leo too a bit.
But
maybe.
Leah, exactly. I was just going to say the same
Well,
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
more Matt Damon, right? That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're
All
all
right.
they're in The Departed together, right? If I
Yeah.
do I have the right guys? Yeah. But that made me. This came up in a recent episode of Toronto Mike that I did with Bob Willett and Rob Bruce. But Boogie Nights features both actors,
Yes.
Marky Mark and Burt Reynolds, and they're both great in it.
Yes.
It's the best I've seen Marky Mark.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Reynolds,
it as good since.
He was absolutely brilliant in it.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I've seen it like a dozen times.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
It's so good. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is so good in
Oh,
it.
he's a great actor. He
Everybody's
was a great
good.
actor.
Yes.
And Julianne Moore is great in it. Burt Reynolds, as fabulous as he is in that movie, hates it or hated.
No, I do.
instead.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
No, not
Oh,
at
he
all.
didn't get it.
He hated
Showed
doing it.
Ridley
He
Funeral Home.
argued constantly. He was in a pissy mood, although that certainly informed the character. But
we
it was an
stayed-
incredible performance.
We stayed in the Burt and Lonnie suite all the
That's
time
right.
at the Slutton.
At Sutton Place, they gave us the Burt and Lonnie suite. we were too drunk to go home. It was a nice suite.
Yeah,
Either of you ever meet Elizabeth Taylor?
I did.
I need that story, and the reason I'm asking about Elizabeth Taylor is because my 10-year-old just discovered this person existed, and the reason my 10-year-old discovered Elizabeth Taylor exists is because Taylor Swift wrote a song about her and just put out a video, which the video is essentially clips from Elizabeth Taylor movies.
Yeah.
So the video that Taylor Swift has put out is just basically a retrospective on the career of Elizabeth Taylor. And I did blow my 10-year-old's mind by telling her she's actually heard Elizabeth Taylor before, because this is my youngest kid. She loves The Simpsons, and the voice of Maggie Simpson, when she says her first word, which is Dada, is voiced by Elizabeth Taylor. Tell me about meeting Elizabeth Taylor.
It was in New York, and it was a Turner Network thing, and I think it was honoring what's her name? I just blanked. Breakfast at Tiffany star.
Audrey Hepburn.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Elizabeth
See,
Taylor
one brain.
was already there. I haven't had any caffeine today. That's a problem. Yeah, and she was, of course.
And you're in the home stretch here, by the way. Don't
Okay.
worry.
All right. Yeah, get a caffeine sponsor, will you?
I would love one.
That'd be great. Anyway, so I was scoping out the bar, and Elizabeth Taylor was having a beer at the bar.
Don't picture her as a beer gal.
No, she was like really she's very down to earth, right? And I would just blah 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 blah, and Audrey Hepburn was coming in, and there wasn't really paparazzi in those days, but photographers, they were swarming her. And Elizabeth Taylor said to me, I think she needs some assistance. So I went over, and she was like, it was literally deer in headlights with Audrey. She looked terrified. So I just said, do you want to grab my arm? She's just a waif,
She's, yes.
very slim. And she grabbed my
pixie.
arm, and I walked her in.
These are some heavyweight names you're dropping here.
Yeah.
We got to meet we were so lucky. We got to meet so many amazing people. A lot of assholes, but just incredible.
And monster, especially in the monolithic culture we come from back in the day, where you could, the movie stars and they were larger than life because there was no internet, and now everything's so fragmented.
Yeah, because in those days, like people like Michael Caine was lovely.
Oh, was he?
Couldn't have been that was the thingy. They'd been to the drying out place.
Betty Ford.
Betty Ford.
Eddie Ford.
That was
Betty
a great
Ford Clinic.
story. I was wearing a Betty Ford ball cap,
There was a bar named Betty Ford.
Okay.
and
okay.
I got
In Toronto.
That's ironic.
I got it busted, by the way. That's another story.
We need for the sequel.
Yeah. I was wearing my Betty Ford from the bar.
From the bar.
To the Betty Ford. So he just dried out. Michael Caine had just dried out. And I was interviewing him for, he was in some cartoon movie, whatever, voice. And I said, you've done so much, so many co-stars. Now you're done, whatever. And I read his book. And he was lovely. He couldn't have been more solicitous to the people, the book people, because it was his book, right?
Right.
So he looked at my hat and he said, I've been there. And I didn't want to tell him it was the name of a bar.
Right.
I didn't want to blow his whole story because he got clean because he used to drink a whole bottle of vodka, and his wife, who's gorgeous, wouldn't marry him until he got off the bottle.
Shakira. I think her name was. She was in
met
Man Who Would Be King.
Would be king.
Interesting. So two things. One is when you say his name with a British accent, it does sound like you're saying my cocaine, right? Which I always thought was amusing. But secondly, that's a man who did some great movies and some real shitty movies. We talked about, was it Jaws? He's
Jaws
done some
3D.
movies where he'll just say, "Yeah, I did it for the paycheck, and it bought me this house."
Yeah, and he's always been very upfront about it.
Yes, and I kind of appreciate it. Like sometimes you work, and it's a great piece of art, and sometimes you need money in the bank account.
But very intentional actor. He did a book, and that may have been the book.
That was the book.
Acting on film, and there was a video that went with it, and it was a workshop he did with some theater students where he explained his process.
That wasn't the book. It was a bio.
He also did this workshop in acting for the screen, and he should have been a director. I think he should have gone.
But the point is that he got in really early, right? It was a crappy day, and the PR went with the books, the publishers, and they were ordering coffee, and he said to the woman, he said, "I'll make sure that these women, we did Canada AM, and blah, blah, they've been run off their feet, and they couldn't have been nice." And who does that? Really? He was so concerned about them, and I thought, oh, hello, Ivana. I have the best Ivana Trump story ever.
She does.
Okay, we're going to close with that.
The Ivana? Okay.
Okay, so two more names, and then
Okay.
I'll set you free. We got to get her photo by Toronto Tree, and I got your lasagna, of course. So two more names. One is, can you tell me a little bit, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a picture of Brian Linehan in this studio because The Watchmen, which is a great band out of Winnipeg, felt I had a little Brian Linehan in my style or whatever, which I took as the greatest compliment, even though it's not true. But can you just tell me about Brian Linehan, who I met once in Runnymede Park across from Runnymede TTC station?
Well, he was known to, be very well informed, but he had somebody do all the footwork.
He had a lot of research.
Oh, a lot of researchers.
So he gets like a dossier and he just has to read it and memorize it.
But no one else was doing that kind of interview. I mean, credit where it's due.
The deep dives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, he had a big staff.
Yeah. But he was mercurial.
Because I have no staff. I just want the world to know that. But I also have the internet.
Yeah. But I mean, he knew all this minutia because somebody dug it up.
Yeah.
Right, like a microfiche or something in the reference library.
There's a wonderful clip of him doing the interviews, I guess, for Caddyshack and Chevy Chase.
I saw it because it's in the doc,
yeah.
which I like that doc very much because I like these complicated characters that, he's an asshole, but sometimes it's interesting to dive in and see, okay, what made Chevy Chase an asshole?
And he's kind of pathetic asshole.
Yes,
now,
yes.
So, But there's that wonderful
I'm Chevy Chase
clip.
and you're not.
Yeah.
And he completely rips Brian a new one in that doc.
Yeah. My thing with Brian, because for a while after he had the falling out with Moses and the rights on the city lights and all that, and he was basically didn't have a job. And I was movie editor at the time, and I had him write for me, but he was a terrible writer. So I'd have to rewrite everything. But he was still on the junket circuit because, everybody owed him favors. But we're on a plane heading to some Warner Brothers junket or something, and I'm sitting next to him, and Marty Short was doing Brock Linehan at the time, which is brilliant.
Of course.
And Brian is like, do people really see me that way? And he was crying. And I'm like assuring him, no, you don't understand. This is like the ultimate compliment.
It's like Barbara Wawa.
Yeah, this is the ultimate compliment. And I think he was okay with it eventually.
Marty Short is one of the funniest men.
Oh, God.
Don't ever sit beside him at luncheon.
There used to be a luncheon at the festival that Marty would be at.
He was sitting beside me, and he always did that stupid
chicken pot pie.
And Marty's sitting beside me, and he said, "Oh, I see.
That looks like Tyne Daly.
It looks. I see the face of Tyne Daly, and of course, I'm spitting out my soup. And of course, I couldn't eat Tyne Daly's face after that. Obviously,
Yeah, Cagney and Lacey.
yeah. He's so funny.
Now, any truth to that rumor? Are they dating
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep?
We hear it's true.
We hear it's true.
Okay, that's kind of happy to hear that.
think that's
But they're
nice.
very low key on it, and of course, Marty's just had a tragedy in his life. His
Yes, of
adopted
course.
daughter committed suicide, so everybody's kind of happy, and they're both such lovely, warm, wonderful people. And coming out of what were both very happy marriages, Marty's wife died years ago, and Streep recently divorced, but they were married forever.
Yeah, they haven't been together for a couple of years.
Yeah, but they're both. We met them both, and they're
Meryl
both
Streep
the loveliest people.
Autographed a picture for our cat.
Yeah, we watched the Oscars one year, and she was, of course, nominated.
Yeah.
And our cat walked by the screen, and they announced her name. He walked by the screen, looked up at the TV, and went, Meryl! So I told her the story. She grabbed an 8x10, drew whiskers on it, and wrote to Jake, the cat's name, Meow Love, Meryl.
And now The Devil Wears Prada 2 is like about to
we're so excited.
come out.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
Yeah, I bet you. Okay, so on our way out here, because I've you've been great. It's been long, and I can't wait for the sequel. Actually, I'm going to start counting down. And honestly, this was great. So, Rob, I got to thank you for delivering the goods. Rita Zekas.
I am so happy that she
I
finally
was
made
worried
it.
because you postponed many times.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to count these chickens till they hatch. But
Yeah,
she's
well, like
right
I
here.
said,
I can
she-
reach out and grab her.
She hates doing this stuff, but you had fun. I could tell.
Yeah, I did have fun.
She
She's
did
here for
have
the
fun.
lasagna.
She
so-
is here for
Totally
the
the
lasagna,
lasagna.
but she stayed for you. So
Yeah,
there
I
you
did.
go.
And we're going to close with a banger here because Rita Zekas is going to tell me about her interview with Ivana Trump.
I love this story. This is so you.
Just sit back and listen. Now, Ivana, not Ivanka. People get
No.
confused here. This is
This is the
Ivana Trump.
original.
This is the late mother of Ivanka Trump.
Yes.
Well, she wrote this book. I say loosely wrote this book. It was just about her, I don't know, life as a skier. And it was just, I can't even tell you the storyline. I read it because that's what I do. I reviewed books for the Star. I'm a prodigious reader. I used to read a book a day if I can. Anyway, so I go to the hotel room and I take notes and, except the occasional tape. So I get, and she's on the phone excoriating. She's yelling at somebody, right? Screaming at them.
This
And-
is post Donald.
yeah. And I'm like, I have no idea what, and then she has this assistant, sit down, blah, 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 blah. So I ask her, all the questions and whatever. And, is it true that Donald paid you $1 and, all dresses you could buy and blah, blah, blah. And then I brought her the facelift thing. What do you mean? I said, well, we know that you've had facelifts. It's on the cover of Spy magazine and whatever. So it kind of went downhill. So I could get outside and I thought, thank God. And I realized I've left my notebooks in there. So I knock on, yeah, she's ordering tea and coffee, right? So I said, could I have tea? She said, no, it's too much trouble. This is before the interview. And I said, well, it's not like you're making it yourself. I think,
They got off on the right foot.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
It's too much trouble to order tea? So I thought, okay, this is going to be fun. So the door opens and I said, I left my notebook. So her assistant comes over, she throws it at me. And I'm thinking, okay. So then we go, there's a cocktail party in Rosedale at the home of the publisher, right? And she's dating this no-count. He's obviously, some sleazeball. He was count somebody, but it's a no-count. So in the kitchen, my friend Rosie Levine, that was right for now, was standing there with her arm around the assistant, right? And I'm thinking, I must have a really bad judge of character because she's such a, see you next Tuesday, this assistant. So Rosie's there, and I think, okay. So I go back, and I said we didn't get on very well, me and Ivana. So there's a friend of mine who is working for a designer, and her name was Julie, and she's gorgeous. She was doing the PR for this designer, And she said, I'm so pissed off at Ivana. I said, what? And she said, well, we gave her a whole bunch of clothes and she's supposed to wear a dress and she's kept them on and she didn't wear them. And I said, do you want to have some fun, Julie? And she said, sure. I said, why don't you go over and make a big play for the no count? Now, Julie was a statuesque, blonde, wonderful red lips, not in the least bit slutty. She was classy, a great suit. She was like everything that Ivana wasn't. Anyway, so I said, go ahead, go for it. She said, this will be fun. Well, 3 seconds later, like, he's all over her. He's all over her, right? And then I hear a crash in the kitchen, and the assistant's on the floor, face down. And I said, what happened? I said, this is your new best friend, Rosie. She said, no, I was propping her up. She's really drunk. She passed out, face down. So, by this time, Ivana's watching the no count all over, draped all over Julie. And I said to her, you better pour your assistant into a cab because she just passed out. So then she goes over to Rosario or whatever his name was. You are coming with me. So they go off, okay, into the night. Julie and I are like killing ourselves laughing. I get a call from the hotel the next day saying, huge fight in the dining room. And the publisher said, yeah, we had to give another room because she kicked him out of her.
Wow.
She kicked him out of her hotel room.
Wow.
And I said, I'm sure I was the only person in the room that had read that book. And I'm sure Ivana hadn't read it either.
Doris Giller, who was the books editor Rita worked under, Rita would like read the whole book, and Doris finally said to you,
you got 2 books. Where's my review? And I said, I'm trying to finish it. She said, Rita, she used to call me Rita Face. Rita Face, you don't have to read them.
this is the woman after whom the Giller Prize is named.
That's a mind blow.
Yeah. I said, Doris, really? I think I owe it to them. Well, just skim it. I'm on a deadline, Rita Face.
Do you think Ivana Trump really fell down those stairs?
No.
No. Does anyone believe that?
I don't think so.
And I think there's Epstein files buried with her in the golf course.
Yeah.
Well, the other one, at what point are people going to realize, Trump lied about this assassination attempt? That just did not happen.
No,
I'm hesitantly hopeful that it's actually the dams breaking.
No, I think that guy that died was collateral damage because they don't care.
Of
Well, that's it. Just someone died.
Yeah.
So what?
They don't care.
No, I know.
care.
I know they don't care. Oh, I know they don't care.
But I'd like to think the wheels are coming off that particular horse. We'll see. Because, he never should have been reelected in the first place.
But you don't take on the Pope.
Yeah, well, he thinks
really.
He thinks he can.
You don't fuck with the Pope is what you're telling me here.
That's right.
Rita Zekas, how was this for you? Did you have a good Toronto Mike debut?
I did.
Good. See? Look. And Rob, are you surprised you had a good time?
No, because I know once you get her going, she's fabulous. But she doesn't want to be on the internet. She doesn't think she's interesting.
I'm not on the internet at all.
So there's no Instagram account for Rita Zekas.
I have no footprint.
No,
Okay.
I post on her behalf.
Oh yeah, because I follow you on Facebook.
Yeah, I post on her behalf. But no, she's the most modest human being, and for no reason, because she's absolutely incredible.
Well, Rob, you're pretty damn great too, and this is your 3rd visit, but you'll be back. I love chatting you up, man.
Yeah, this is fun. I love doing this.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,882nd show. Go to TorontoMike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs, and while you're there, click Elmo Gig at the top of TorontoMike.com, because if you click Elmo Gig, you can buy tickets to see me headline at the Elmo Combo on May 21st. That's happening.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It's something.
Historic venue.
It's something there.
We love the Elmo.
I'm going to be there. First
Under
Rolling
the
Stones
neon
and then
palms.
me. That's
Yep.
the way to look at the Elma combo.
I actually could have gone to that show. Goddard.
Because it was April Wine Show, right? Is this the one where they're the cockroaches and they're in April? It's an April Wine Show, but the Stones pretend they're a band called the Cockroaches.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Goddard went. I was a copy boy at the time, and Goddard was there, and he called me from there to file his copy and said, "Well, come down. I'll get you in." And I was too young and
That was the one
intimidated.
with Margaret Trudeau not
Yes,
wearing any
that's the
underwear.
one.
Yep.
That's the one.
Yeah.
She must
I
be
missed
related
it.
to that Bergdorf's woman.
What goes around comes around.
Much love to all who made this possible. Again, that's Great Lakes Brewery. Rita and Rob have their Great Lakes beer. Palma Pasta, I'm going to get the lasagna. Nick Iones, I'll see you tomorrow, Nick. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. And, of course, Ridley Funeral Home. Degrassi, the Zit Remedy. It all comes back to,
Rob
Salem and Degrassi. See you all tomorrow.